What is going on, fellas, and welcome back to episode 4 of the Director of Football Journeyman. We continue the journey with WIGAN, and I thought, why not bring you to the dynamics screen so you can see just what is going on at the moment. So team cohesion has gone up to good, which is fantastic. Club atmosphere is at very good because we have been on a decent run of form recently, and the managerial support isn't as bad as it could be, which is quite fantastic. We do have 3 players that are a little unhappy. Joe Garner is just moaning a lot. Jamie Jones wants to leave and he is on the transfer list. Well, he's transfer list by request. So by request. So because he hasn't been playing football. And Lee Evans is unhappy at the sale of Cal Naismith, and I told him that we were just going to play a bunch of kids, and we have been. So he is more than happy to continue as he is. We are currently studying for a National C licence. They did say that they didn't want to take me away from the coaching part of it, which I don't understand why, because I am a terrible coach. But they said that if I got the coaches to none of them have heavy workload, then I'd get my coaching badge. Everyone, I went straight away. Everyone's on light or average, which is more than what they were looking for. Well, I suppose exactly what they were looking for. So that is what they're getting. Today's episode, we're going to be playing Sunderland in the Papa John's Trophy North section 2nd round, and we're going to play Accrington, which is a fan day in the league. Since you were here last in the game against Peterborough, where we got demolished, we went and beat Plymouth 2-0. Ollie Crankshaw and Tom James getting goals. Solomon Ottobor picked up a knock, and that was disappointing, but we have a couple of handy wingers around. I think we have 5 wingers at the club in the first team. It's been fine. Then we got beaten by McDonald's. We really didn't deserve to lose that game, but we just weren't great. Then we drew to Northampton. I was starting to get worried because we'd been on a long run of form where we hadn't really been great. Played Plymouth and we were fine and beaten them. Then we lost to Blackpool. To be fair, we played against McDonald's, who were top, and then Blackpool were top when we played against them. We got absolutely shit stomped. But then we played Wrexham, the future Deadpool club. We beat them comfortably. They're, fairly low down in the leagues, so it's kind of expected. And then we went and did the unthinkable and beat Liverpool under 23s. Still beat Liverpool, just putting it out there. It's still Liverpool at the end of the day. We beat them 2-1. Mackenzie O'Neill, mightn't have heard of him before, and Joshua Reggie scored as well. He is an 18-year-old Northern Irishman who's been off doing under 19 things. Gotten into the team recently. He's been quite good, I have to say. I'm quite happy with him. Then we played Wimbledon, beat them 2-0. Will Keane getting on the score sheet twice. Then played against Oxford, struggled against them. Shadipo was fantastic in the game, and it was torture playing against him. Tom Pearce came back from an injury and picked up another injury. I feel like we're just not going to have him this season, so potentially he's just going to have to leave, because I can't keep a player at the club who can't play more than half an hour without getting injured. Then we absolutely smashed Bristol Rovers. It was beautiful. Reggie opened scoring. Solomon Ottobor scored. Crankshaw scored, and Garner scored. So our wide midfielders, aka wingers, and both their strikers scoring on the day, which was exactly what you want. Garner came off the bench for that game. Then we played Harrogate, and again 2-0 up after 6 minutes. Delightful. Not a bother on us. Then we went and played Sunderland, and we were outside chance of winning the game. We smashed them. Garner with a brace and Will Keane scoring a penalty. It was delightful. So we're lining up today our games against Sunderland again, and then we play Accrington, like I said. So the first part of this episode, we are stepping out onto the pitch, and everyone in the first team is fit and raring to go. Diaco's a little tired, but we only have 3 centre backs that aren't starting this game because Obi has been sent away on loan. He's gone to Who's Obi gone on loan to again? Boston. Pretty sure he went to Boston. Yeah, he went to Boston. He's gone to Boston on loan. I didn't want him to leave. He was a handy player to have on the bench, but I can't stop it. So, what are you going to do? So we have Dillo in goal. James and Smith are going to start as our wingbacks. Clemens and Tilt as our centre backs. Tilt has been in exceptional form recently. I am very, very happy with it. Smith is our 17-year-old Slovakian left back. Massey and Crankshaw starting as our wingers with Evans and McHugh in the centre. McHugh, don't know if you know McHugh, 17-year-old, potential 4.5 star player. Played a lot of games, so he gets the nod again today. He's played, like I said, quite a few games. He's been really good. 6.94 doesn't show it, but he's been involved, and that's the main thing. Keane and Reggie starting up front. Joe Garner does sit on the bench today, on the off chance that he gets called into the team again, because he did score in the last game, whereas Will Keane didn't, and Will Keane was a little poor, but I'm going to give him the chance to come out and show that he should be starting. They're starting Will Grigg up front today, which is that's not what they did in the last game, so maybe that might make a difference. Aidan O'Neill, where'd they get Neil? Aidan O'Brien started up front, and he wasn't very good. I'm also trying a different skin for today. One of the ones downloaded from the Steam Workshop, just because I wanted to see what it was like. It's the first time I've actually used it, so I literally just downloaded it a couple of minutes ago. So not 100% sure yet if I like it. It's going to keep it for this episode. Might use it up until the next episode and just go from there and see what we're feeling. In the next round of the FA Cup, we have drawn Derby at home. Massey's picked up an injury. James gets the ball across. Lavelle heads it away, but Evans picks it up. McHugh, Crankshaw. Can he put Keane through? He has. And Will Keane's on fire. Your defense is terrified. Will Keane's on fire. Fuck Will Grigg. So that was a fantastic. But he's not. He was meh in the last game. But the Gooch steps up, whips it across, and Crankshaw heads it clear. But misplaced header by Crankshaw leaves Dobson open to just nod it into the back of the net. James and Smith are both having poor games at the back for us. Might be something we need to consider at halftime, but Massey has to come off halftime. And we are 2 down. We went from 1 up to 2 down. We're going to berate the team, because I can. That was just terrible, terrible defending. Instant highlight. Should be interesting to see what happens here. McHugh to Evans. Keane back to McHugh. Whips it forward. Reggie's not going to get there. Burge gets there first. But there must be something happens in this highlight. Clemens gets it to Evans. Massey does not look capable of being a footballer at the minute. Reggie gets dispossessed, but McHugh gets it to Crankshaw. Gets Reggie through, and Joshua Reggie, says he's a 2-star player, potentially to be a 3-star player. He is very good. Star rating means nothing. This guy, now that he's gotten into the swing of it, is very, very effective up front. And I'm playing him as a poacher. Did try and get him to play as an advanced forward. Didn't really suit him. But we're 2-2, and we have another highlight before the half, and Will Keane's done it again. I don't think Garner's going to get off the bench today, unless there's an injury. Probably shouldn't. Don't want to jinx it. Beautiful free kick by Tilt, just over the top of the defenders, and they could do nothing. Nothing to stop Will Keane. We have another highlight before halftime. James gets it across, and Curtis Tilt, first goal of the season, boshes it into the back of the net. Going to praise the lads right before halftime. This should be the last kick. There should be no more highlights. Tilt just gets there. I haven't touched free kicks, so can't take any credit for that. The Gooch is getting too much space. Outstretched arms. I'm happy with how it's going, lads. Massey, hampered by injury. I'm going to take him off. Do I bring on Solomon Ottobor? Or do I bring on O'Neill? I'm going to bring on Ottobor, and I'm going to swap the two lads because Crankshaw is right-footed. I think Solomon Ottobor is also right-footed, but he's not right only, whereas Crankshaw right only. So we're going to, that's the only change we're going to make at the minute. Evans is having a bit of a meh game, as is Dan Smith. We don't have a left back on the bench, so Dan Smith will not be coming off the bench, or will not be leaving the pitch, unless absolutely necessary. Or I suppose James can move over that side. And James has picked up his rating in this second half so far. We are going to praise the lads again. Dan Smith's indicated he's taking a bit of a knock, so we are going to, I was going to make this change anyway. So Dan Smith's picked up a knock. Swap him over for Jones. Smith going to come off for Darnell Johnson. And we leave our final change until a little bit later. Tilt gets the ball clear. Solomon can't get there. And now Sunderland on the attack, potentially. Diamond just scuffs that a little bit, thankfully for us. The Smith change must have been made by now. Surely. Yeah, it has, okay. It didn't say it on the... Oh, Solomon, Ottobor. Cuts in, and... See, if that was Crankshaw, I feel like Crankshaw would have scored there. It was a very rambunctious start to the game. Everything happened at the end of the first half. It's been kind of quiet since. I'm actually going to swap Crankshaw and Solomon Ottobor back around. I'm going to take Evans off for Merry, but I'm going to make Merry a box-to-box because I don't really want him to be a playmaker. Because Evans has the passing. Merry is acceptable, but is not amazing. Reggie's header-on doesn't find a Wigan player, and Johnson misses his header, but thankfully Clemens was there to clean it up, and then gets it forward. Reggie picks it up. McHugh, Crankshaw. Crankshaw is going to go all the way back to Tilt, out to Solomon, Johnson, Mary, Johnson. It's like we're playing tiki-taka. Solomon gets forward. Is Reggie onside? He was. Okay, he actually was onside, but he's put it wide. We have a chance from a corner. Crankshaw doesn't find a Wigan player, but Solomon Ottobor picks it up, whips the ball across. I'm surprised one of our players didn't try and get there. But we've managed to come away with the ball against Solomon. Can't get it past Tom Flanagan. Is it Tom Flanagan? Probably. I'm pretty sure it was Tom Flanagan. Gonna give the lads a bit of encouragement. Frustrated, a couple of the lads. Just encouraging you, telling you to keep doing the things you're doing. The XG chart is quite hard to see, but 1.28 to 1.43, we definitely did well to get 4 goals there. Special lads, nobody expected it. Get in there. Awaiting media reaction, haven't had any media, although I do have my assistant doing all the chatting, so don't need to worry about that. And Liverpool's under-23s have knocked out Leeds under-23s, so that is one less under-23 team for us to worry about. Chelsea's under-23s got knocked by West Ham's. Oh, but we've knocked out Sunderland, a team above us in the league. They're sitting in 9th. We're currently 18th with a game in hand, which is important. 3 points for us would put us up to 10th. So it's still all to play for at this early stage. Dan Smith's out for 11 days, which is not ideal. Gavin Massey's only for 2 days. That's fine. 2 days, that's nothing. But we've just been given 20k for a game against Sunderland. We should... No, we're falling into we're falling into more debt. We are actually potentially going to get another takeover again for like, it's been the second time since September that we'll have a takeover. That would be interesting. So we will be back in just a second for the fan day at Accrington. Should be an interesting game, and I'll see you for that. Right, fellas, back for the Accrington game, and it's going to be an interesting game, I would imagine, because Accrington not having a great season, but then again, we're not having a great season. We have had a youth intake preview, so it's interesting that they think it's going to be a golden generation for the club, because All we have coming through is an attacking midfielder, 2 forwards who are considered fine prospects. One of them is from Sale, who's caught the eye. But we don't have any great players coming through in any single position. No defensive midfielders, no wingers. The keepers aren't great. The fullbacks aren't great. Centre backs aren't great. Wide midfielders, not great. Few good wingers in general. It's not going to be a golden generation then, is it? But then again, I did say in the last episode, not really expecting it, because we don't really have a youth development that's any good. So we're going into this game. A couple of changes have to be made, because of suspension. So Tilt suspended, Dan Smith injured, Tom Pearce still injured, Gavin Massey is fine, but he's been dropped to the bench, and we are starting with Dillo in goal, James and Makatungu as our wingbacks, Clemens and Johnson in central defence, O'Neill and Crankshaw as our wide midfielders, wingy men. Evans and McHugh continue in central midfield, and Keane and Reggie continue up front because they did really well in the last game. Makatungu is... he's been really poor. I'm hoping that this is one of those games that he just kind of comes to life. Ross Sykes is a player that came up in my recommendeds recently. The chief scout or the director, one of them came along and went, "Hey, Ross Sykes, good player, you should look at him." I'm like, "Hey, why don't you sign him if you want him?" Because, you know, I don't have control over the transfers. So we're going to pump our fists. No, actually, we're going to outstretch arms. Pick up where you left off last time. It's motivated James and Crankshaw. But tactics-wise, I just need to go to opposition. Yeah, just the one. We're going to tell him to press the keeper. That is pretty much what I do all the time. Anyway, that's my thing. I like them to press the keeper. Big ball forward by Sykes. Interesting. Straight off the bat, just get rid. Cassidy's... It's a game of ping pong. Makatungu just booted it as far away as physically possible. Unfortunately, kept Cassidy onside when he did so, and then Sangre just boshes it across, and Cassidy is left all on his lonesome. So, bad start so far. Not ideal. Is the tablet going to stay like this now? Because I said that's what I did start of the last episode, I think. Or did I do it the game before? Not sure, we'll find out. Evans gets it across. None of our players are there to get a hold of it. And an Accrington player comes away, but O'Neill battles to win it back. And just a poor shot at the end of it. Oh, my chair's moving. Just a very, very poor shot. Going to try and fire the lads up. Johnson with a free kick. Gets it forward. Reggie picks it up. Back to Evans. Gets it out to Crankshaw. McHugh. Big ball across the field to O'Neill. Dinks it across, and Keane heads just wide. Keane's almost on fire. Almost on fire. There's an interesting group at the top. One thing I did forget to mention was the league game where we beat Sunderland. They sacked the manager. So Parkinson got sacked right after that game. They were managerless for the cup game, and it did present quite a difference. Cassidy is through again, and he's just eating us alive there. Makatungu is not having a great game, but then again, that's kind of expected because Makatungu, he's not very good. But we're severely lacking left backs, so yeah, he's not used to the pressing intensity. Okay, he doesn't really play for us, so he's a lone player who isn't getting an awful lot of first team football. I'm going to thrash my arms and say we need to be better. Clement's having a decent game though, which is nice. Dillo's having an absolute mare of a game. We are going to have a look at the opposition and see, because the assistant wants us to tackle Cassidy and tight mark, but we're going to just do a little bit more than just that, because he seems to just be everywhere, which, you know, it's not what you want. Not at all. There's a potential for James to move to left back. How did Will Keane miss that? The keeper literally punched it backwards. And Will Keane managed to put it out from like a yard out. How did he miss? O'Neill. Back to Evans. Gets it across to O'Neill again. Even though... Oh. Straight red. I know he's on the yellow card, but that would have been a straight red. That was disgusting. Ugh. James gets it to the... He misses everybody. Will Keane picks it up. Gets it across. And Clemens almost puts it into the back of the net. Just ever so slightly too high. I'm going to demand more. We're going to go attacking. And we are going to... Okay, 20 minutes left. 20-ish minutes left. We're going to make a change. Makatungu is playing terribly. James is going to come off and we're going to bring on... We're going to move Daniel Johnson to right back. As it is right now, everyone... I didn't even realise that. Everyone in our back line for this game is not one of our players. That is slightly worrying. Garner's going to come on as a target man. We're going to put Will Keane as an advanced forward, because the last time we did that kind of worked. Be interesting to see if it continues to kind of work, or if it's just going to be shite. We have switched to attacking. I'm going to berate the lads, which has fired them up, which is fantastic. And we're going to go very attacking for the final 10 minutes. Might as well just make this change. O'Neill, Crankshaw not having a great game. I'm going to bring on Solomon. Set him to inverted winger. You don't really want to do anything over there. Long is making his debut as well, by the way. He got brought up from the under 20s, under 23s, under 23s. 20 years old, making his debut. Solomon gets it to the back post. Clemens whips it across. Keane, shock is blocked. O'Neill's block. Clemens gets it across. Evans, Garner's offside. We're going to lose to Accrington Stanley. Who are they? We've lost to Accrington Stanley. Reggie had a terrible game. Makatungu. That was not good enough. We really should have been winning that game. So we had a good result against Sunderland, and we get slapped around by Accrington. That is not something I expected to say. We were shocking today. Absolute disgrace of a result. Couldn't agree more. Rachel Buckle. Emil Coughlin. What a load of rubbish. Can I? No? I want to like... I can't like them. Okay. But yeah, that's... We went from potentially having enough of a buffer where if we got 3 points we would have been up to 15th and have a game in hand, to now just being 3 points closer to Accrington. Just not what anybody wanted from the games today. That was terrible. We are still nicely away from the relegation zone. We're not going to have to worry too much about it at the moment. We're not even halfway through the season though, so not gonna think about it too much. We're 6 points ahead of Lincoln, which forgot to mention actually, the Lincoln game would have been Lincoln and Sunderland in the league, but the Lincoln game got postponed because their pitch was waterlogged, and I didn't want to show 2 Sunderland games, so we did Sunderland in the league first. And now we're going to have a look and see who we're getting in or who we're going to be playing in the next lot of games. Because we are in December. Do we skip forward to the end of January? Impotent as Stanley shoot to victory. Yeah, we weren't great. Angle. Disappointed by the fan day. Yeah, that was... Yeah, that's, less than ideal. Would have been nice if it was at least an interesting game. Simon Francis, player that we should be scouting. No bother. That sounds acceptable. Our XG was 1.13 to their 0.63, so they really just took their chances. I blame Makatungu for all the issues that were in that game. He made all the mistakes were him. I think we might come back for... Do we just come back for the 2 cup games? And then we'll be able to jump forward to the end of January and do the transfer window roundup and do Wimbledon if that game doesn't get postponed as well, because it's at home. There's a fairly high chance that we could actually have a waterlogged pitch at some point. So that's what we're going to do. Derby and Blackpool in the next episode, because third round could get us a bit of money. Kind of need it. And at home to Blackpool, team in our division who are third? No, they've gone back to top. Yeah, we're knocked out of the second round by Salford City. We might get knocked out of the northern section third round by Blackpool, and then we might get knocked out of the third round of the FA Cup by Derby. Should not be ideal. So yeah, if you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Share with all of your friends, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!